All right, hello everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. There is actually a thunderstorm happening right now, right outside my window, so I apologize if the mic picks up any of that, but if anything, we can have a little ambiance for today's video. But I thought since last week, after posting my regular size traveler's notebook video, that maybe this week I could share my passport size. I've actually never stopped using this since I first introduced it on my channel, which I think was almost a year ago at this point. I have changed the way that I use it a little bit, but this has been a constant companion for me for the past year or so. And I'm not sure how interesting or in depth this is going to be, but I thought I would share her while I'm in my traveler's notebook era and update you guys on the progress. So this is my passport size traveler's notebook. This is in the camel cover and it's the Starbucks Reserve edition, I guess. I love the feel of this one. It's like suede-ish feeling, I would say. And it has patinaed very nicely and pretty in my opinion. I use this as a wallet and a mini notebook. So this is constantly getting thrown around in my purse, throughout the whole house. And you can see, especially here in the middle, it's started to patina. I also have random pen marks and scratch marks everywhere. So she's definitely took a beating this past year, but since it does function as my wallet, I don't really care about that. I also have this stamp right here. You guys will see a couple more of these when I open it up, but this was a stamp that I did in a Baumkuchen journal meetup that happened in January, which feels like forever ago, but I just decided on a whim that I would just stamp the outside cover, and it's not really on there really good, but I kind of like it, and I think it adds some character. So this is the notebook wallet system I have. In my last video showing this, I was using it to help track my finances, which I don't do in this anymore. I've moved towards a digital app for a lot of my finance tracking, and that has actually worked out a lot better for me, but I do still keep a notebook in here, which I'll show you in a second. But this is primarily my wallet, and that's kind of worked perfectly, and I don't really write in here a whole bunch, but I do have the option if needed. So this is a real look on how it usually looks for me. There's always a bunch of receipts thrown in here. This one is so old, it has worn off. I have Taco Bell in here, that's embarrassing. Dairy Queen, also embarrassing. But I just throw my receipts in here whenever I get done paying for things, and then eventually once this becomes a little chaotic, I will throw them out. I also have two more stamps right here, again from that same Baumkuchen meetup that I went to, and I really like them here. I think they're super pretty, and they've stood up. I thought that they might fade over time, but they've kind of preserved, I guess, pretty perfectly. So that's basically my front cover. Next is the canvas pouch from Traveler's Company, and I just keep debit and credit cards in these little slots that I use occasionally but not very regularly, so they just stay protected in there. And then right here are my two main cards that I use, and this is the plastic card pouch insert that Traveler's Notebook sells. And I do have my driver's license kind of covered right here, but I keep my driver's license in here, and then right behind my license I keep my most used debit card. So whenever I am paying for groceries or something at the store, it's really easy for me to just open this up, and then I open it here, and then I just slide my debit card out, and it makes it super easy and quick to pay with things. And then I also keep my most used credit cards right here, just stacked on each other. I always thought that using a passport traveler's notebook would be a little finicky as a wallet, but it's actually worked out really great. And surprisingly, I get a lot of compliments on this when I'm out in public and people see me open this up and pay for things. they're always very intrigued by it. So that's kind of fun. So those are my most used cards. This is pretty much the section I'm in the most. And then in the back here, mainly just to cover up my card numbers, I usually keep some spare cash in here. This is like $5. Don't let me fool you. There's not a lot of money in here. But I do like to keep emergency cash on me. Usually it's so like I can buy my kids like a snack or something. But yeah, I like having cash on me. Not a lot, but when I do, it's in the backside of this pocket. And then next is the only notebook that I have in here. This is the Traveler's Notebook, just like grid insert. And I have thrown this in there for any like instance or situation where I need to write something down really quickly, which hasn't actually happened once for me. Like I haven't written in here once because usually I have like my phone or something on me. But I thought it would be handy to have in here just in case. And then, I don't know, if I ever need to write something down in here, I can. I have also stuck random receipts in here. As you can tell, this one is very old. So sometimes they make their way in here. And then I also keep this random sticker release paper with some stamps on it, just in case I need some stamps. I feel like I should maybe put this like in here or in my wallet so it's a little bit more accessible, but I don't use stamps like too much, only when I'm usually doing like pen pal mail. So those have just kind of made their way in here. So that's the notebook. Kind of depressing. I don't have any like cute little scribbles or notes to show you, but when and if the situation arises, I am prepared. Next is the pencil board. I actually don't use this hardly at all in here. I think in a situation where I need to write something down, it might be helpful for me to have, or if I ever just need a like straight line to trace, I can. But this mainly, I don't know, I kind of just use it as a little separator in here, and it has like gotten some use. The grid is slowly wearing off, but she usually just stays put in here. And then next is the other side of that clear pocket insert, and this one is the zipper pouch portion, and I keep all of our insurance cards in here, which obviously I can't show you, so right now I just have like these little place cards, I guess, in here, but I keep all of our insurance and like dental cards and things like that in here. So whenever I need to pull those out, I can just access them really quickly. But the pocket is pretty roomy, so I have a good like probably 5 or 7 cards in here, and it's nice that it's clear so I can see pretty quickly what I'm looking for. So I really like this one, and sometimes I will switch this one and I will use this pocket for cash, and then I'll put these cards back here. But then it just feels like a little too bulky sometimes. But yeah, I kind of use those interchangeably. And then after this little pocket, there is one more pocket, and this is just the zip pouch, which is the other half of the canvas one right here. And I just use this one for change for when I need to pay for parking. So I don't like to keep a whole lot of change in here just because it makes it really heavy and bulky and kind of like loud and like jangly, I guess I would say. So I usually only keep like 5 or 6 quarters in here because that's all I ever really need it for parking. But I do like having it in here because there have been lots of instances when I've needed to pay for parking and I don't necessarily want to use my card. So that is the last little functional pocket in here, and then that's just basically the backside. So very, very simple. Again, I try to keep this as minimal and, I don't know, clean as I can. It's been a really, really fun wallet, and again, I get a lot of compliments when I use this in public, and I think I could see myself using this for, I don't know, a pretty long period of time. I've never really wanted to change out of this or use a different like passport cover for it. And I think if and when I start traveling, it will be really nice to just keep my actual passport in here, and I can just like slide it in somewhere back here. So that will be nice. But for the most part, I just use it to carry my money and my cards. So that is the passport notebook. If you guys have any questions on this, definitely let me know. I think these are kind of underrated or slept on a little bit when it comes to functioning as a wallet. I wish I could be a passport girly when it comes to notebooks, but it's just too small for me. So this is a nice way for me to like live out my passport fantasies without actually using it as a notebook to write down in. And so that has been really like fulfilling for me as someone who is in this like planner and journal space. So that is the wallet / notebook setup that I have. I will try to link everything that I can down below. If you guys have any specific questions on this, please let me know. But I thought I could film just a short and sweet little flip through of this, since it is something I have used consistently for almost a year now and will probably continue to use for another few years. So thank you guys so much for being here and for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.